Hello friends, hope you're fine. Today the podcast about the Rahu in 12th, 10th house. Since last 2 days I could not upload anything as I was not feeling well. Rather, as I mentioned, Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it, and it creates, it becomes a matter of concern so far as Rahu is concerned when it starts giving afflictions in the chart. So, in case it afflicts its house of placement in the 10th house. Uh, One gets terminated from job due to corrupt practices, isn't it? And there is restriction to assets if Mercury, Moon, and Venus are weak in the chart in this lagna. In case of this lagna, there are heart troubles as well. If Sun, Moon, are weak in the chart, it also makes a person a liar, isn't it? In this case, however, if close aspect of Jupiter goes to Rahu, that controls the impact of Rahu in the chart. Uh, on the other hand, in case Rahu does not afflict its house of placement in the 10th house, it gives good results during its Antardasha. What are these results? I'll mention those results. Before that, do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So in case it's not afflicting its house of placement in the 10th house, it makes the person diplomatic and a person of good public relations, and there is a tendency that a person is able to achieve his ends through his vices, isn't it? So these are the main results of Rahu in both the cases. And as I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it, and the impact of Rahu gets stronger if the lagna rises in a nakshatra of Rahu, isn't it? Is if the lagna rises in a Rahu nakshatra, and Rahu on the other hand gives afflictions in the chart. So what could be done? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper remedies, isn't it? Taurus ascendant. So far as Taurus ascendant is concerned, it gives good results. Rahu gives good results usually in case of Taurus ascendant under given conditions. As I mentioned that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it. So before proceeding further, do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. Many podcasts are yet to come. So in case Rahu gives afflictions in the chart, it becomes a matter of concern for the native. In case it afflicts its house of placement in the 10th house, the person will get terminated from job due to corrupt practices, and it makes a person liar, isn't it? There are problems with the reputation status also, and there are heart troubles, and it leads to destruction of assets. However, if Sun is utterly strong, no heart problem will be there. If Sun, Mercury, Venus are utterly strong, destruction to assets will not be there, isn't it? Sometimes people comment in the comment section that prediction is wrong. Actually, I am expressing the results in general. The chart, every chart is having a different nature of every chart is different. What I am saying is in general. It may not be in the, for example, if I am saying that destruction to assets, it may not be there if Sun is utterly strong in the chart, if Venus is utterly strong, if Mercury is utterly strong, because they are the general significators of assets. So, and Sun is the particular significator of asset in this case. So in this case, it depends on the nature of chart. Taurus ascendant is there, but what is the strength of Sun? What is the strength of Venus? What is the strength of Mercury? Isn't it? So these factors do vary. That's why everyone will not get these results equally, but these are generalized results, there is no doubt. So in case it's not afflicting its house of placement, it makes the person, diplomatic and a good public relations man, and go getting, person capable of achieving the ends is, through corrupt practices, through vices rather. So these are the main results. Now what can be done? You can't, in case it gives afflictions, and it becomes more severe when the lagna rises in a Rahu nakshatra and Rahu gives afflictions in the chart on the other hand. Under such conditions, manipulative, the person is manipulative, the person tends to be criminal, he thinks of himself only without bothering about others. So these are the main results of Rahu. What could be done now? Rahu can't be removed from the 10th house. However, if Saturn is utterly strong in the chart, being the dispositor of Rahu in this case, or Saturn gives close aspect to Rahu, that will lessen the impact of Rahu in chart. So consistent and proper remedies, for example in terms of charities and other remedies there, that can be adopted in order to lessen the impact of Rahu in the chart. Now Gemini ascendant, Rahu in the 10th house is a problem, as when it gives afflictions in the chart. In any house it is a problem when it afflicts its house of placement in the chart. So Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. In Gemini ascendant, it gives good results under given conditions only, and in case it gives afflictions in the 10th house, uh, one gets terminated from job. When one gets terminated from job due to corrupt practices, and there are hard problems, one becomes liar, and there is destruction to assets. However, if Mercury, Venus are utterly strong in the chart, Moon is also utterly strong in the chart, the problems felt will be low. If Sun is utterly strong in the chart, the hard problem will not be there. So these are the main results of Rahu in 10th house. Before proceeding, to subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Now if Rahu does not afflict its house of placement in the 10th house, the person becomes diplomatic, he becomes a person of good relations and good public relations man rather. It go getting process, and the person is capable of achieving ends through voices. So these are the main results when Rahu is placed in the 10th house in case of Gemini ascendant. Now what could be done? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the consistent remedies only. Now Cancer ascendant native, as I mentioned, that it does not give good results at all in this lagna, and because Saturn being malefic and Rahu is a Saturn like planet, and in what context, I'll try to make a podcast. What is the difference between Saturn and Rahu? How is the nature of Rahu and Saturn? I'll try to have a podcast on that separately. Anyhow, Rahu becomes a cause of concern when it starts giving afflictions in the chart. So as I said that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything positive out of it like other benefic planets. So if Rahu afflicts its house of placement in the 10th house, one gets terminated from the job because of corrupt practices, and there is restriction to assets, problems to heart, and one becomes a liar. So these are the main results. However, if Venus is utterly strong in chart, Moon is utterly strong, Mercury is utterly strong, the destruction to assets will be negligible. And however, if Mars is utterly strong in the chart, being the dispositor of Rahu's impact in the chart will lessen. So in case Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in the chart. So these are the main results of Rahu when Rahu afflicts its house of placement in the 10th house. In case Rahu does not afflict, what will happen? It will give good results to some extent. So before proceeding, do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So in case Rahu is not afflicting in the 10th house during its Antardasha, It will make the person diplomatic, you know, a good public relations man, and the person will be able of achieving his ends through his voices, isn't it? So these are the main results. Now what could be done? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the consistent remedies. Leo ascendant, so far as Leo is concerned, in this case, as I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other benefic planets. So Rahu becomes a cause of concern when it starts giving afflictions in the chart, and such a problem can't be solved without the application of proper remedies in terms of charities and other etc. In case Rahu gives afflictions in the 10th house, one gets terminated from job due to corrupt practices. There, it leads to destruction of assets. It leads to, heart problems if Sun is weak. It leads to destruction of assets if Mercury and Venus are weak in the chart. And one becomes liar, especially when Mercury is utterly weak in the chart. So these are the main results when Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the 10th house. However, what will happen if Rahu is not afflicting? It becomes auspicious under such case. And what are the results? Before proceeding, do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. Now, if it is not afflicting its house of placement, the person becomes during its antardasha, the person becomes diplomatic and a good public relations man, and one is able of achieving ends through his voices. So these are the main results of Rahu in 10th house. However, if Rahu is afflicting its house of placement, so that becomes a problem. In case Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, that will lessen the impact of Rahu in the chart. So these are the main points of Rahu. Now you can remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the constant remedies for Rahu, isn't it? Now Virgo ascendant chart, let us say that it gives good results in Virgo ascendant under given conditions. Rahu gives nice results under given conditions. Now what are the results that what we obtain and what we have? Rahu plays an important role in in Virgo ascendant chart under given conditions. Most of the problems that Virgos face, instabilities in health, instability in his career, and most often instabilities in health. So Rahu can be controlled with the help of a gemstone in a particular way in case of Virgo ascendant, as I mentioned in other podcasts as well. And Rahu becomes a cause of concern for this native as well, this ascendant as well. If Rahu starts giving afflictions in the chart, it afflicts its house of placement in the chart. In case it afflicts its house of placement in the chart, it will lead to termination of job as a result of corrupt practices. There are problems to heart, there are problems to assets, destruction of assets is there, and one becomes a liar. However, if Jupiter, Venus, Mercury are utterly strong in the chart along with the Sun, the problems of heart and the problems with respect to assets will not be there. And however, if Venus is utterly strong in chart and or Jupiter's aspect, close aspect goes Rahu, under such conditions the person will not be liar. So actually I am expressing the results in general. The other configurations depend on the nature of chart, as I do repeat over and again, because most often people get confused what is being said, and what they face in life is not to the point, and sometimes it does not match at all, because the nature of every chart is different. The aspects, the placement of planets and the other orbits in a chart, they are not totally different anyhow. So these are the main results when Rahu afflicts its house of placement. So before proceeding, I request you to subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So Rahu will control Ketu as well, because they are at 180 degree always. So Rahu controls Ketu, Ketu controls Rahu, isn't it? It's a remedy, it is a puzzle rather. So in case Rahu does not afflict its house of placement in 10th house, the person becomes diplomatic and a good public relations man, and one is capable of achieving one's ends due to his vices. So these are the main results of Rahu 10th house. Now what could be done if you have Rahu in the 10th house and it is giving afflictions in the chart? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the proper and consistent remedies in terms of charities, etc. But in case of Virgo ascendant, as I mentioned, that it is possible completely, there is my practical over this, that Rahu can be controlled in case of Virgo ascendant with the help of a gemstone in a particular way, and Rahu gets controlled. So Libra ascendant chart, in case of Libra, so it gives good results as well under given conditions. As I said that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, one can't expect anything malefic, anything benefic from it, like other benefic planets. So when Rahu is placed in 10th house, it becomes a matter of concern when it starts giving afflictions in the chart. In case it's afflicting its house of placement in the 10th house, it will lead to termination of job because of corrupt practices, heart problems, mental peace will be disturbed, and restriction to assets, and one becomes liar. However, if moon is utterly strong, the impact of Rahu will lessen to some extent. Or if close aspect of Jupiter goes to Rahu, that will control Rahu again. And other planets are not having their sign lords defined. So in this case, if Sun is utterly strong, heart problems will not be there, isn't it? So these are the main results of Rahu in 10th house in case of Libra ascendant. Before proceeding, to subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. However, if Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the 10th house, what will happen? It will give good results. One will become diplomat, and one will become a person, a good public relations man, and one will be capable of achieving ends through vices. So these are the main results in both the cases, when Rahu is placed in 10th house of Libra ascendant chart. Now what could be done? You can remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the consistent remedies. Now Scorpio ascendant chart, as I mentioned, that it does not give good results in case of Scorpions usually, and its placement in the Leo sign is not a good placement. But one should not get frightened like that, it is death or it is something. No, it's normal. But in the light of knowledge, it's not a good placement. Now, as I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other benefic planets. And Rahu becomes a matter of concern when it gives afflictions in the chart. Either it afflicts its house of placement or it afflicts other planets in the chart. So in case it is afflicting its house of placement in the chart, it will lead to termination of job due to corrupt practices. The person will become liar, and there are problems to heart and destruction of assets as well. However, if Saturn is utterly strong, Venus is utterly strong, Mercury is utterly strong, Sun is utterly strong, Jupiter is utterly strong, these problems will not be there. So that's why I say the nature of every chart is different. So before proceeding, I request you to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So in case Rahu is not afflicting at all in the 10th house, so it will give good results. One will become diplomat, and there he will be a good public relations man, he will be, and one will be capable of achieving one's ends through vices. So these are the main results of Rahu in 10th house when we deal with Rahu. So now if Rahu is giving afflictions in the chart, what could be done? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and this is what comprises the scope of astrology. In case Sun, the dispositor of Rahu, in this case is utterly strong in the chart, it will automatically, to some extent, I would say to the great extent, it will lessen the impact of Rahu in the chart. So these are the main points regarding Rahu in 10th house in case of Scorpio ascendant chart. Now in case of Sagittarius ascendant chart, it gives good results also under given conditions. So Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature, as I mentioned it. It becomes a matter of concern when it gives afflictions in the chart. If it is afflicting its house of placement, it leads to termination of job as a result of corrupt practices, and there are problems to heart, problems to mental peace, and destruction to assets, and one becomes a liar. So these are the main results of Rahu in 10th house. However, if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, the impact of Rahu will lessen. And in case Rahu, Jupiter gives close aspect to Rahu, isn't it? Close aspect to Rahu. So in such case, Rahu's impact will lessen in the chart. Now, if it is not afflicting its house of placement, it gives good results during its Antardasha only, and it makes the person diplomatic, a good public relations man, and one is capable of achieving one's ends through his vices. So these are the main results of Rahu in 10th house. Now what could be done? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the constant remedies for Rahu, isn't it? Gemstone, like cat's eye and other, that will not increase its length. So this is all about Sagittarius ascendant chart with Rahu in 10th house. However, if Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, so I request you to subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. If Mercury is utterly strong in the chart, the impact of Rahu will lessen to some extent. The Capricorn ascendant chart, before proceeding further, I request to subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. So Rahu in the 10th house in case of Capricorn ascendant is a good placement, and its placement in one of the Kendra houses, and it becomes a matter of concern for this native also when Rahu is giving afflictions in the chart. So in case Rahu is afflicting its house of placement in the chart, it will lead to termination of job due to corrupt practices, and there are problems to heart, restriction to assets, and one becomes a liar. However, if Mars is utterly strong, Mercury, Venus are utterly strong, if Saturn is utterly strong, and if Venus is utterly strong, the overall impact of Rahu will get declined, because these are the planets where of the houses which are aspected by Rahu. So if Rahu is not afflicting, it gives good results during its Antardasha. One becomes diplomatic, and one becomes diplomatic, and becomes a person of good public relations man, and one is capable of earning his motives and ends, achieving one's ends through vices. So these are the main results of Rahu. However, if Rahu is afflicting, what could be done? You can't remove Rahu from 10th house, but you can remove the malefic influence of Rahu, and that is possible with the consistent remedies, isn't it? So Capricorn ascendant chart, in case of Capricorn ascendant, Rahu gives good results as well under given conditions. However, it becomes a matter of concern if Rahu afflicts its house of placement in the 10th house. If it is afflicting its house of placement, it leads to termination of job as a result of corrupt practices, and there are problems to heart if Sun and Moon are weak, and there is problems to assets, destruction to assets, especially when Jupiter is utterly weak in the chart, Venus is weak, Mercury is weak. So the one becomes liar also, isn't it? If Mercury is on the other hand weak, one becomes a liar in this case. If Rahu is giving its limited aspect, defined aspect to Moon, sorry, to second house. So these are the main points when Rahu is afflicting. Before proceeding, I request to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos like this. If Rahu is not afflicting, one becomes a diplomat, one is having a good public relations man, and one is able of achieving ends through vices. So these are the main results of in case of Capricorn, in case of Aquarius with Rahu in 10th house. And here, here, sorry, here Rahu becomes debilitated. So debilitated Rahu will, be a problem during the Mahadasha of Rahu. In this case, there will be problems. But it can be controlled even with the help of gemstone also. But you can resort to charities for Rahu. And in case of Aquarius Lagna, Rahu becomes a cause of concern, especially. Anyhow, when Rahu, in case of Pisces ascendant, as I mentioned, that it does not give good results at all in the Sagittarius ascendant. In Pisces ascendant as well, it's not recommended in case of this Lagna. As I mentioned, that Rahu is a planet of general malefic nature. One can't expect anything positive out of it like other planets. And if it becomes a matter of concern when Rahu starts giving afflictions in the chart, so in case it afflicts its house of placement in the 10th house, it will lead to termination of job due to corrupt practices, and there are problems to heart. It leads to destruction of assets if Venus and Mercury are Moon are weak in the chart, and it leads to the person being a liar. It makes the person liar, especially if Mars is utterly weak in the chart. If our Jupiter is utterly strong in the chart, or Jupiter gives close aspect to the to Rahu, the impact of Rahu in the chart will lessen to the great extent. So these are the main results when Rahu is afflicting. So before proceeding, I request to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon in order to get notified for the upcoming videos. In case Rahu is not afflicting its house of placement in the 10th house, the person will become diplomat, and will be a good public relations man, and he'll be capable of achieving his ends through corrupt means or through vices. So these are the main results when Rahu is placed in 10th house in case of Pisces ascendant. This is all about Rahu in 10th house. Do share these podcasts as much as possible you can, so that those who are interested to increase their knowledge of Vedic astrology, they will see the difference, and they will be successful in increasing their knowledge in a proper way. So bye bye. And in this case, as I said, I forgot to mention that in case of Pisces ascendant, Rahu can be controlled. I'll make a separate podcast on it. Rahu can be controlled with the help of gemstone completely. So it's explained in the consultation how Rahu can be controlled with the help of gemstone. So this is all. Thank you.